there and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. I'm so glad you joined me today because I'm making an all-time classic favourite out of book 2, and it's the macaroni beef. So I've got lots to share with you today, but before we get into that, I just want to check if you've subscribed to my newsletter because I went out today. Everyone got a special email for November, but there's a special deal going right now. It's only on for a short while, and it's a buy one box of my shakes, get the second box half price. I know, how fabulous is that? So if you're thinking about getting ready for summer, this might be what you need. So check that out. It's in the newsletter. But Diane, are you going to put it in the feed? Yeah, Diane will put in the comments as well because you need a special link for it. So let's talk about the show last week. It went off. Everyone wanted the pizzas. That's right. But we had 3 fabulous ladies win not only book 1, which is the Supreme Pizza, but book 7, where it was the chocolate fruit pizza as well. Now, Christine Parlett was very excited, Janelle Whitbread and Jenny Diva. 2 cookbooks coming your way, girls, and I've signed them for you, so look out in the mail for them. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up a little bit, because I can. Hello, it's my recipes. In the recipe for the macaroni beef out of book 2, this is the book we're using today, and that's the recipe, the macaroni beef. Oh my gosh, it's such a good recipe. If you haven't tried it, stay tuned. You'll be excited because it's so easy. Now, with the macaroni beef, I list the meat sauce and then the white sauce. But today, I want to mix it around a bit and do the white sauce first because I like to give the white sauce a bit of time to settle. So, let's turn it on. And what you start with, and I'll talk about the ingredients for you in a minute, but where is a little scraper? Here we go. So we're going to start with a tablespoon of Floralite margarine. Now we melt that. I'm going to use a whisk. Now we're making white sauce and it can be a little tricky because, you know, it's hard to not get lumps in it sometimes. But what I've done today, and I want to show you, this is an extra little tip, is I've actually heated my milk, which is 1.5 cups of skim milk. I've had it in the microwave for 2 minutes on high. And I think that really helps when you're making a white sauce, anything like that. So I've melted my marge, 3 tablespoons of the plain flour, and just combine that well. And this is where you add in just a little bit of the milk and really get that roux going. A little bit more, because you want to really combine those together and beat, beat, beat. This is the key with the white sauce, is to really get in there with your whisk and really help connect everything together with the flour, the margarine and the milk. All right, that's looking great. Now, if you've just joined me, I'm making macaroni beef out of book 2, and what I'm doing first is I'm making the white sauce that goes over the top. Now I think the white sauce just takes this recipe to another level, but if you're looking going, oh Annette, really can't be bothered making a white sauce, well, you don't have to. You can just have it with the mince, you know, the mince and the pasta mix, or you can just put the cheese on the top. I think it's phenomenal with the white sauce as well. Now once it gets to a really good consistency, this is where you just add in the remainder of that hot milk. Remember, I've used skim milk, and I'm just going to now wait, keep whisking, keep stirring until this boils. And as I said, I'm making it first because I want the sauce to thicken a little bit, and it will go over the top before we put in the oven. So once this is boiled, I'm going to just leave it to the side and it will be added on later. Alrighty, so there we go. So there's my white sauce done and dusted. Now we're going to go in and cook the meat. Now I'm going to use, let me just turn this up a little bit. Let's get it up a bit higher. I want it really hot. So I want this to really heat up because you want it sizzling when you put the mince in. I've used beef mince, but you can use other mince. Like you can use chicken, pork, there's pork and veal in Woolies. You can also do lamb mince. It's the fattiest one, so I tend to shy away a little bit from that one. And also turkey mince. So let's just put this in, and I want to show you, oh look at me, I'm flicking the meat everywhere. If you've got a vegetarian in the house, I've got an answer for you, because we do. And sometimes when you're making dinner, you don't want to be making separate things for this person and that person. So this recipe is great, making it for the meat people. And I'm just going to cook that mince. But let me show you what I use for vegetarians. And that's the corn. It's a plant-based mince. So there's no meat in it. And what happens is it actually absorbs the liquids a little bit. Mince doesn't, but this does. So you only need the 300 gram packet. Even though this is 600 grams of mince, I only use one packet when I'm making a recipe. So that's for you. Now let's also talk about, let me get rid of this. I need to wash my hands because I've been handling raw meat. That's better. Now I want that to cook. Now let's talk about the ingredients that go into the macaroni beef. So straight up, I've done 600 grams. Now when you're buying chicken mince though, my little warning there is just make sure it doesn't have lots of white bits in it, because that means whoever's minced it has put the chicken skin off the breast through the mix, and that will make it a very fatty mince, so we don't want that. So it needs to be nice and pink. Now what I've got here is I've prepped it up ahead because it takes a little bit to get it all organised, and we've only got like 15 minutes here. So I've grated up some carrot, zucchini and chopped some onion. So you know how to do that. I don't need to show you, do I? So what I've got is 3/4 cup of grated carrot, 3/4 cup of zucchini, and I've got 1 small onion finely diced. I've also got 1/2 cup of frozen peas. Now if they don't like peas, you could always put corn in if you wish, but I like it with the peas. And what's great about this recipe is that the kids aren't really knowing there's veggies in it. I know we don't have to tell them, it's our secret, okay? Because it just mixes in. And this is what a lot of mums and dads comment, that this recipe is great for the family because it's all in one thing. You know, you've got your meat, you've got your veggies, and then you've also got your pasta, which I'll fold in at the end. So I've got 3 cups of cooked macaroni noodles. I like the macaroni noodles. I think it just goes really well with this recipe. You're also going to put in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 2 teaspoons of the Macel stock powder. I've got a can of the salt-reduced tomato soup because I want it to be low salt. And we're going to top it with the white sauce later, and 3/4 cup or 75 grams of grated 30% cheese. All right, so I'm cooking the mince. Now just remember that what I did there early on was I actually changed my recipe, and I'm actually in the process of updating some of the changes because, you know, some ingredients is discontinued and different things. I'm actually writing in there where it's a white sauce that you do hot milk. So you'll see that in future prints. But for now, just make a note when you're making a white sauce or a roux that when you're adding milk, it really is a better way to mix it if it's already hot, the milk. And I just put in the microwave, as I said, for 1.5 cups it took 2 minutes. All right, so now this mince is nearly done here, and what we're going to do is start adding in the veggies. So in goes the carrot. You could even get the kids helping you because they could do all the grating for you, which is a bit of a tedious job, isn't it? You've got your zucchini and your onion and your peas. So they've all gone in. Give that a good mix. Combine that together. So remember, I'm making macaroni beef out of book 2. And I've got a great story about macaroni beef, and I'll share it with you once I've just added the soup. So I've just mixed that together, and now I'm just going to put in the tomato soup. There we go. I mean, you can see it's one of those particular recipes that I love where you basically just chuck it all in the pot or the pan or the fry pan, and we're good to go. All right, so we're going to mix that and cook that just for a couple of minutes. Now, let's talk about macaroni beef. There's a story, and I love stories, you know I do. So, I don't know whether you've been around a long time following me, but some time back I was a regular on a cooking show called Fresh. It was with Jason, very hot little chef, And I would fly down and do 2 shows a month. And they used to call me, when they introduced me, it was always Simply Slim with Annette Sym. And I know Lindy Milan would often be making something quite high in fat. And she goes, oh, I'm glad Annette Sym's not in the studio today, because it was actually sponsored by Women's Weekly. So, my 3rd year of doing the show, they decided to get a record of what were the top 10 favourite recipes that year. And remember, this is lots of chefs that come on, the Women's Weekly cookbooks, of course, you know, lots of recipes. And you know what happened? The top 3 were mine. I know, how fabulous. What were they? Well, number 1 of all the recipes from this cooking show was this, macaroni beef. I know, gotta love it. Number 2 was the Wicked chocolate cake out of book 2. We know that's fabulous. And the 3rd one was the mud cake in book 3. Guess what happened? I got sacked. I mean, they didn't pay me to go on the show, so they couldn't really sack me, but suddenly my contract was no more because the Women's Weekly people got a bit, what can I say, annoyed that their recipes didn't rate as high as mine. So I thought that was a bit fun. Alrighty, so now we've cooked this together and we're going to add in just a couple more ingredients. Now we want to put in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Perfect. 2 teaspoons of the stock powder. I like the Marcel because it's really low in salt, and that's really good for our heart health as well. And we're just going to cook that a little bit longer. Now I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees fan force, and this beautiful recipe, macaroni beef out of book 2, is going to take about 25 to 30 minutes to cook in the oven until it gets nice and brown. Now, as I'm cooking here, I wanted to mention that a lovely lady asked me a question. I thought I'd answer it for her on the show. She said, Annette, why don't you ever use your cooktop at the back? Like that you always use things at the front. And I go, can I answer you? Look, hello, cooking, not going to work. Yeah, no, it's absolutely that. I mean, if it was here, it'd be fantastic. So that's why I use my induction portable and my woks and fry pans, because obviously I want you to see what I'm cooking. All right, this is looking fabulous. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in the macaroni noodles. So it's 3 cups cooked. Can you see how easy this is? And it serves 6. So what I like about that is it's really quite economical. Now, Aussies, we just love mince. I mean, it's a proven fact. Even with my recipes, and I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, do you know what are always in the top 5 list in my recipes that people just love? Are all minced. That's right, there's the macaroni beef, hello, that's always in the top 5. Beef tortilla stack is always in the top 5, and so is Ripper rissoles, all beef mince. So it just shows we do love it. And I do favour it because I think, having had 3 kids, I see the value in something like this, because you know, we're all on a budget. We've got to make sure we're doing it right, giving them healthy, but also meeting your budgets as well. All right, so this is looking fabulous. So let's put that to the front. Turn this off. Move this over here. All right. And we're going to put it together. I know. How easy is this? All right, so let's, in a lasagna dish. Oh gosh, doesn't it look great? Now, it's not one that I particularly like to freeze. I think pasta, it just in general, aren't as good frozen. But I always find that if we haven't eaten it all in one day, a couple of nights later, it's just as good to eat. So I tend to just keep it in the fridge if there's any left over. This is enough for 6 people. It's 9.3 grams of fat per serve. And if you take off the white sauce, it's only 5 grams of fat. So this is where now, give that sauce a good mix. And you just spread that over the top. Yum. Who wouldn't want this for dinner tonight, hey? Or lunch, as Diane's just said, because hello, she's having it for lunch. Yes, she likes Thursdays when there's something she doesn't have to bring her lunch in. All right, there's our white sauce on, and all we have to do is add in the grated cheese. Now, I always like to grate my cheese. I think it holds better when it's cooked. The pre-grated cheese tends to sort of hold its shape and doesn't melt as well. And I always think you get more. It looks like you get more when you grate it yourself. So that could be just me, but I encourage you to go with the grated that you do yourself. All right, macaroni beef, out of the book too. Now I'm just going to bung it in the oven and it's going to cook for about 25 to 30 minutes. Here we go. Let me set my timer. Now, of course, we haven't got time to wait for it to cook. Have you got 25 minutes? No. So what I did is before we finish, I want to show you, here it is. Can I get a plate, Billy? I might serve it up for you and show you what it looks, because this is not going to tell you anything. So can you grab me a plate, Diane? Someone? And I'm going to serve it up for you. Now, this is the macaroni beef. It's so fabulous, and it's out of book 2. Now, this is the book I'm going to be giving away today. So if you want to win it, all you've got to do is like, share, and in the comments, hashtag Symply #2 good. That's right, hashtag Symply with the #2 good. Write that in the comments. Thank you, Billy. Write that in the comments and you can go into win. Now, you will want this book because, hello, one moment please. In this book, we have a Christmas section. Yes, each of the books have different sections like bonus sections, and this is the Christmas one. And I think, hello, what's happening next month? Yeah, Christmas. All right, so now this is enough for, like if you go down the line there, I reckon this is my serve for lunch today. Let's get it out. Oh yeah, baby. There it is. Macaroni beef. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? There is my macaroni beef. I'm sorry, I'm a bit messy. There it is. Now, don't forget, you've got to get the deal for the shakes. Look, I've got some here to show you. This is the shakes here. Now, you can get one, second one, half price. What a great deal. Never done it before. And I just feel like at this time of the year, we're going to start getting ready for summer. And there's weight loss menu plans in each of the flavours, plus recipes. But you get the 14 shakes. And it really might be what helps kickstart your summer-ready body. Alrighty, so now next week's show, I'm going to be making a recipe out of the Cooking for 102 book, and it's gnocchi. It's the creamy pan-fried gnocchi. Most times you boil gnocchi. No, I do it differently. So you need to see the show next week and join me for that fantastic show. All right, guys, well, you enjoy your week, and thanks for joining me. I know where I'm going right now. Macaroni beef. Bye now.